EricMwather@Mwather.com, going into April 8th, 2015. Let's take a look at the markets here. We begin by taking a look at the daily. This is going to be a brief analysis because the market had a slight move on Tuesday. I just want to show you what the dailies look like, and I want to go, and for one, we can see that we had a good move on Monday, I believe, and that was because we moved above this 50 zone on the daily or for the Nifty. Now, so we have the possibility of moving back below that, but before I do that, just want to show you what I'm looking at in terms of potential for resistance. If we take this most recent high here and this subsequent pullback, we can see that the break on the RSI took place somewhere here. If you connect the lows like that, and there's a break point somewhere there, and you can see where I'm going with this is looking to me like it could be early signs of short-term resistance. And one of the reasons why I say that is if you take a look at the Dow daily. So let's take a look at the Dow daily as of right now, closing chart for Tuesday, April 6th. You can see that there was another break in the Dow, we'll call it somewhere here, and if we draw a simple line, this is where I think the Nifty is trading right now, which is somewhere here on the Dow. More than likely, in my opinion, indicating some type of resistance for now is what I'm thinking. If we take a look at, but is it going to be a major resistance? I'm not sure. Also, if we take a look at the hourly for the Dow, and I think I should come back to this after I take a look at the Nifty hourly. So let's go back to the Nifty. If we take a look at the hourly, we can see this is how the chart looks like. So a couple of things here is, it seems to me like if I draw a line, and I did this earlier, it's very interesting to observe that this line connecting this low here and this one, so connecting this low and this low, if we extend that line, we get a lot of information actually, something like that. It is, in fact, if I adjust it slightly, so let me do that. This very simple line seems to be giving us interesting positions of viewpoints. You can see this low through this one. Ever since then, every time we move above this line, we get a nice hourly move. But now when we flip that, every time we come and show resistance on the same line extension like here, it gives you a short-term high, which is somewhere there, resistance there, which is that high on an hourly, resistance here, that high, resistance there, on, and you can see uniform activity above that line, back below it for a short-term high. So what I was trying to do is find another line that could be of some type of meaningful prediction, and so that's one line that could have given us at least an idea that this was resistance coming into Tuesday's trading. If we take a look at a trend line, we can draw it like that, but I would rather, let's take this high into consideration, so let's take that off, and I don't want to confuse you here, is if we draw it connecting the high, something like that. And what I'm trying to get at is this nice breakout. So the breakout there was responsible for this price movement. So this breakout in price came with the RSI bouncing and moving above this recent level there. So if we extend that same line, as long as we're above this line, the market should be okay. Now the problem is, if this becomes uniform activity resistance below that, the same line that was a buy would now start giving us sell signals. So a little bit of a confusion there as to what the market is trying to do, but what I see here is something I might borrow from what's going on in the US, just because I watch that and I've been watching it all day. A couple of things we can see that if we go back, there was the biggest move on this short-term period is over here to these lows here. So this is the biggest move lower. So we can look for that information to see what broke that began that move, we can see that there's a slight break there based on this trend line there. So this break point was during this high. We haven't been back there, so that's a critical level on the market, and all we have to do is extend a simple straight line. It would be somewhere around there, and you can see that without adding a lot of our own personal bias, you can see that ever since that, every time we move above that line and hold above it, we get a nice surge. And now we've gone below the line and back above it with uniform activity for a nice intraday pullback. There was also uniform activity and back above that red line zone sometime there, which was these lows, and since then we are higher. So clearly, in my opinion, as long as the market is holding above this red line where it broke, the market should be okay. What I would be curious is if we break back below that line, that could be indicating now we are due for a pullback. Don't forget that the market has recorded a slight node here. RSI have been trying to go higher. If this rolls over down like this, that's going to be indication of market pullback. The one thing I wanted to finish here is if we go back this way, we can see that it also gives us short-term high. For example, this was a short-term high of that level there because of that uniform activity. There's also slight resistance, and I don't want to spend too much time here because I'm a little bit confusing there, but that was also a short-term high, which was here. Market came back and showed another short-term high, which was here. And then again, ultimately we have this uniform activity above that red line and back below it, which is the high. All to say that around here, I am personally looking for a resistance around there short-term, and this is just for those who want to short-term trade the market, or at least swing trade it. If you take a look at the Dow in conclusion, you can see that the Dow also on the hourly has come back to a level of resistance if we draw it like that. And this resistance point gave us the most recent high, again gave us a nice resistance area there for a pullback, for a swing trade for those who do that. And here it looks to me like this is a double top short term. Interpretation there is that the pullback over the last hour or so in the market makes a lot of sense, and maybe we start the day lower because we are close to 50. As we slash below 50, we might see the US markets also push lower. Again, in conclusion, and to be in sync with the Indian market, we can see if we extend this line, which in the Indian hourly I drew it in red, so I'm going to draw it in red there. We can see that this break point was also the main high as far as the Dow is concerned, and that was this break point there. So lots of information. The markets are showing hourly resistance. Daily charts are also showing resistance in the US. I think the Indian market, with the daily showing resistance, the hourly is going to follow. So to me, short term, day to day, looks like there's a pullback in store. Eric Mwade. Otherwise, one thing I have to notice, the weekly continues to look great. The weekly looks great as far as the Indian market is concerned. Eric Mwade, good luck, peace, and blessings. Woo!